11 days from now, the nation and, of course, Americans around the world will mark the September 11th attacks.
It will have been 10 years since hijacked planes crashed into New York's Twin Towers, the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. You could say three major things united the nation after those terrible attacks. First, resolve to find the culprits. Second, an increase in patriotism. And third, for millions of Americans at least, a turn to a more spiritual life. Perhaps that's why there's been a major outcry since New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg announced there will be no clergy members or prayer allowed at the official memorial ceremony at Ground Zero. Dr. Joel Hunter is with Northland Church in Longwood. John Kieffer is president of Atheists of Florida. Guys, we thank you for joining us. It really is a hot-button topic. We're going to start with you, John. Acknowledging that religion is something really a lot of people turn to after these attacks, and really, frankly, for any tragedy, what's a big deal to have a member of representing each religion there?
Well, there's two parts to that question. Yes, people do turn to religion. Some people do, not everyone. Some people turn to family. Some people turn to philosophy or philosophers or their own internal ways that they find meaning and purpose in life. So the question is, what's the problem with a pastor coming to a government function, which is what Mayor Bloomberg's event is a problem, because that pastor doesn't represent all of the potential worldviews that can be in that audience.
Well, that's true. And Dr. Hunter, we want to bring you in on this part of the conversation. We know not the entire country is Christian or Muslim Absolutely. Or Jewish. I mean, there's a huge spectrum of religions and beliefs. So maybe it's just like Mayor Bloomberg said, it's just could overcomplicate it, and we didn't do it before. Why now?
Well, in the first place, you can have several different faith communities represented, including the secularist community. Our problem is when it's exclusionary to the secularists, then you're not representing the vast majority of this country, and you have to figure out who you're doing the ceremony for. Is it government officials, or is it the people that they represent?
It should represent the people who were most touched by this tragedy, that is America at large. That's what
Absolutely.
You're saying, Dr. Hunter.
Yep,
what do you think about that, John?
Well, I support Mayor Bloomberg's position that the focus should not be on the clergy, whether there's two or three different faiths represented, but the focus is on the family. Now, that's a pun, because focus on the family, the organization,
right.
Clergy, they're Protestant clergy into that, but Bloomberg said the focus is on the families who lost loved ones on 9/11.
But to a certain extent, though, John, and with all due respect, the focus is also on the entire country. While we may not have been personally impacted, everyone did grieve in some way. So what's wrong with a priest, a rabbi, an imam, whoever, even someone representing the secular community, as Dr. Hunter said? I mean, would it really hurt that much?
Well, it does. When someone of a worldview that is different from yours goes up on a stage, and again in a government promoted event, I'm forced to do one of two things. Here's a priest basically going to be talking about a Christian worldview. Right. I'm going to have to either stand and pretend to pray, or
you could just sit politely and respectfully
and be identified as a religious outsider.
Right. Well, you know, and we are all different religions anyway, so not the Catholic people wouldn't be praying the same prayers that the Jewish people would be praying, per se. So we would all be left out at one point or another. And Dr. Hunter, I want to allow you to get the final word. And he does bring up a point, you know, the separation of religion from our government, whether it be an event like this or whether it be the 10 Commandments. That's an argument on a wall. That's the argument that people are going to continue to make here. We're going to let you have the final word.
The separation of church and state is not expunging all religion from public activities. I agree with John. If we have different religious representatives, he will be left out part of it. But if Mayor Bloomberg has his way, which he will, those of us who believe will be left out of all of it.
Right.
Because you will only have one faith perspective, and that is no faith perspective.
Well, we are unfortunately out of time. You know, everyone will be acknowledging his or her own God or lack thereof that day. Bottom line is it's all about our country and recovering. We do appreciate you guys participating in this debate. Dr. Joel Hunter from Northland Church in Longwood and John Kieffer, president of Atheists of Florida. Thank you so much.
Glad to help.
Thank you.